Not all side hustles make you richer. Some just make you tired. Today we're going to talk about whether a side hustle is actually worth your time. Hi friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Jen. I'm glad you're here. In today's video, we are going to take a realistic look at side hustles. We can talk about, I guess we can talk about side hustles all day long. We'll talk about when they make sense and when they don't make sense, and maybe something that you should focus on instead of exhausting yourself. So generally, what people think a side hustle is easy money, extra money with no downside, something that's passive, something that everybody should be getting into. And, if it worked that way, that would be fantastic. But there are real costs to the side hustle. And one of the major ones is time. As some of you may be aware, I do tie-dye on the side. I have not actually dyed anything in over a year. I have a lot of remaining product. If any of you have looked at some of my previous videos that I have on this channel when it was sugary tie-dye, I talk a lot about the cost as far as time-wise that it takes to, even after I have the product made, there is a large time consuming for going out to various events, because it would be the time it takes to load the truck, the time it takes to get there, the time it takes to set up. And then it's mentally exhausting because I am on my feet all day long saying hi to everybody that walks by. And I believe I've mentioned in some of my older videos that in order for me to sell anything, maybe not anything, but in order for me to make a good amount of sales, I learned very early on that I needed to pretty much try to greet every single customer that walked by. Whether they stopped or not, it was something, because a lot of them, when they walk by your booth, even though you might have the brightest items on the planet, they have a tendency to put blinders on. And if they're walking with their friends and they're chatting, it was mentally exhausting to physically stand up all day and say hi to everybody that walked by. It was like when I would get done the day, I would just sit in my truck and be like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody the rest of the night. It was just so much mental energy and physical, for sure. This job is definitely physical, and I still do it to some extent. If you're thinking about doing a hobby side hustle, think very, very hard about whether this kind of a thing is going to be worth it. Think very, very, very hard. And if you're curious, scroll back in my channel and look for those videos. The opportunity costs, that is one thing that I have not discussed yet. When I was working at the convenience store, I couldn't go out and spend time with friends or hang out with family members. I was always going home from my regular job and then running to another job. At that time, I really needed the money though. So at that time, it was more important for me to work than to go out and spend time out perusing. When is a side hustle worth it? Well, as I said, I was in a bad place financially, so it was worth it to do that instead of going out perusing. When a side hustle is not worth it, which I have found out with my tie-dye business, is I got some serious burnout. And sometimes the income with the side hustle is not consistent, and it's really not great. If you were, I don't know how much you would get paid if you were driving for Uber, or I've heard that someone I was talking to recently said that if you are if you do like the driving for Walmart, I think it's called Spark, she says she works for, she says, it's great if you work on a Friday night or a Saturday night and you deliver to people, you get great tips, but you're still, you could use that time doing something else. plus you're putting in mileage on your vehicle and wear and tear on your vehicle. You've got to think about that too. A lot of jobs don't necessarily, I mean, they have to pay minimum wage depending on what it is. I mean, geez, even my boss does, she does waitressing in the summer, and if the tips weren't any good, she wouldn't do it, because what's the point if you're not going to make at least minimum wage? Living frugally and all the things that kind of come with that, reducing your spending, those are alternatives to side hustles that you can consider. Cutting your expenses as much as you can might work out better for you than busting your ass and trying to work a second job. Using your raises wisely and avoiding lifestyle creep, selling unused items, those kind of things may be more worth your time and energy than hustling. If you think about things like YouTube, you're still putting in a time commitment, and maybe it's not a huge monetary commitment, but there's still a little bit of a monetary commitment, and the time it takes to record the videos and to learn how to do all the uploading and all the stuff that's involved with it. And I've got 2 websites now, and posting blogs and trying to work Pinterest into my thing, for all 3 of, I guess I could call it 3 businesses. The way I work myself through the time commitments is to come up with a system. If you can come up with a system to make your side hustle work for you, that's a way to do it. But a lot of times, just going to work at another job might not be worth it. What do you guys think about side hustles? Or do you guys have side hustles? Do you have ones that you consider to be more passive? I thank you guys for hanging out with me in my drive home spiel about side hustles today. I appreciate you for hanging out. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next one.